How complete of a performance did this feel like for you guys today?
It felt pretty good. I think we played pretty well on all sides of the ball, all three areas, special teams, offense, and defense. But there's always, those little areas that you could always get better at, and we're going to be able to find those on the film and get better for it next week.
We asked you guys so much, and Matt talked about a lot about coming back from Ireland. Did that even seem like an issue for you guys this week, or not so much?
Honestly, for me, I think a lot of the guys, not really. I think the day we got back was a little bit rough. We got back at like 2 o'clock, but the next day, I think a lot of the team, a lot of the players felt fine because we were able to get a lot of sleep that night. And I think, that rollover was pretty efficient for us, and that's, thanks to the staff that we got in the training room, the weight room, and our nutrition area. They did a good job of preparing us for that.
What was it like watching a 63-yard field goal on the sideline?
And that was awesome. I had no idea that it was that far, and they told me it was 62. I'm like, oh my God. And he made it. He sunk it. He probably could have made it from, farther than that, so it was pretty cool to watch.
You were the first one from the bench to kind of go out there and meet Kyle. What was that moment like?
It was awesome. I think it's better for him too because, to have, I don't know if that's a record or not, if anybody knows. And so, it's awesome for him to have that. And the confidence that he's been able to build for himself going into the rest of the season is huge.
Did you know that you broke a record today?
No, I did not.
Completion percentage in a game, 95%. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. Obviously, you want to be perfect, but you're never going to have a game that you're perfect in. So I think that's what I'm kind of going back on. There's never going to be a game where I'm perfect, and there's always going to be areas where I need to get better for this team, and we'll be able to do that next week.
Kind of a similar start for you as the North Dakota game at home to open last year. How much did that kind of help you settle into things?
Yeah, I think just being back home with these fans, this atmosphere again, and then having everything the same, just being back here in Iowa was something that I felt like made me more calm and more poised. And, Ireland was pretty electric. So coming back here was a little different. But the fans showed out today, sold out crowd. And, I'm expecting that the rest of the season from them.
I think 10 different guys caught passes today, and 6 had at least 2 last week. What's that say for kind of who you've got to choose from out there this year?
Yeah, I think it's everything I've been saying. We have so much depth in that receiver room, and honestly, there's a lot of guys in that room that can step up even more. And I'm excited to see the progress within those guys throughout the coming weeks.
In a similar vein, I think 13 of your complete sequence of tight ends, penalties, 2 touchdowns, gave it one. I know it's going to vary. Sometimes receiver have the tight end, but what type of mismatches do those guys give you, which you certainly identified today?
Yeah, it gives us a lot, especially when we go heavy and then we spread them out to receivers. It's hard to prepare for that, and I think Coach Mouse and the offensive staff does a good job of having the trust in those tight ends to go out there and play like a receiver. And you saw it today; they were moving. So I'm excited about those guys and what they're able to do for the rest of the season.
What
How
kind
much
of
is it to have those types of options and receivers and tight ends?
Yeah, it's huge, and they've been able to build their confidence and their trust with one another throughout the coming years, and I think this year is big for them, all those guys, to really show themselves who they are and show the people who they are.
What kind of presence do you think Alex Mansky brings to the offense?
I think he brings an awesome presence, especially in the run game. That you saw in those couple of runs with him lowering his shoulder a little bit. He says he's played safety in high school a little bit, but I'm going to keep telling him to get down so he doesn't get hurt. But that's a guy that's going to be able to run the ball and throw the ball and run the operation well within the offense, and he'll be good here at Iowa State.
When you go 19 of 20 and you say that you need to find ways to critique your performance, before watching the film back, what would you say that you had to do better today?
I would say put that ball on him, on my incompletion. And then I would just say operational-wise, I thought we did a good job. Leadership, there's always a way you could get better with that. And I'm sure Coach Waters is going to have a couple things for me to get better at, which I will. So,
how important is it to go beat a team by over 40 and still want to go see what you did wrong?
Yeah, I think it just shows the matureness that we have on this team and the willingness to get better. We all want to get back to this Big 12 championship and win as many games as possible, but you can't do that without the preparation throughout the week and, game in, game out. And I think that's the mindset that we have right now is to go game in and game out with the best of our abilities.
It was a big game.